Supplement companies can sometimes be as bad as pharmaceutical companies with all the fillers and additives and synthetic ingredients and just crap inside the supplements that aren't actually necessary and quite literally could be harming your health, especially your gut health. In today's video, we're going to go over why supplements can be so damaging, particularly with a gut health perspective. I'm going to share specific additives and fillers that you're going to want to look out for. Make sure that you don't have them in any of your supplements at home. And in the end, I'm going to share how to tell if the supplements that you're taking are high quality and even necessary for your health. Hi, my name is Selena from Wholeness Campaign. I make videos on gut health to teach you how to conquer your chronic symptoms naturally. So if that sounds like you, consider subscribing to my channel. When I realized that I had supplements with some of these toxic ingredients in them, I was shocked. I actually hopped on a call with a well-renowned GAPS practitioner who told me that a couple of the supplements I was taking on a daily basis had some additives in them that were literally functioning like antibiotics in my gut. Just the exact opposite of what I was looking to do. Trying to heal my gut, not add antibiotics to the gut. Essentially, the key factor that she was looking at when she went through all of my supplements was to see if any of the additives have potentially damaging effects on the gut lining and if any of them operate like a antibiotic in a sense that they are meant to preserve things, but they do so by killing bacteria. Maybe they're actually just meant to kill bacteria. And so that would then have a negative effect on the beneficial bacteria in your gut and potentially strip the gut lining even more than it already was. So I have compiled a list after quite a bit of research on all of these different additives and fillers that can go inside supplements nowadays that I will have linked in the description box below in case you're curious and you want just a full list so that you can kind of do this for yourself. But my hope when I share all these ingredients with you is that you can really go to your cabinet and audit your supplements themselves. So I've compiled just a few for the purposes of this video that I think are the most popular and honestly some of the more damaging fillers and additives that are on the market. So just to name a few, the first one on our list is magnesium stearate, which in and of itself is not an antibiotic, but it has been known to have a negative effect on nutrient absorption in the body. And some people have found it very irritating to the gut lining because it tends to have a laxative effect, if that makes sense. Personally, I would put this in the camp of sandpaper on the gut lining. I don't think that it's very easily absorbable form of magnesium, but it is literally in everything. And again, it's just a very common filler. We've got silicone dioxide, which is an anti-caking agent. You actually find this in food. A lot of studies consider it to be non-harmful at all, but it actually does have a negative effect on the gut microbiome. It has been shown that it will actually, have that disruptive bacterial effect. So calcium propionate, this is a preservative that inhibits the growth of pathogenic bacteria, but in so doing is actually kind of functioning again like an antibiotic. It will have a negative effect on the beneficial microbes. Microcrystalline cellulose, which is actually the one that brought the most attention to me because I was very used to buying this magnesium glycinate supplement. It's actually very hard to find magnesium glycinate on the market that doesn't have any fillers and additives. You guys, I love magnesium glycinate for so many reasons, but right off the bat, other ingredients are microcrystalline cellulose. This was the one that she said actually does operate like a antibiotic. Benzalkonium chloride, titanium dioxide, any type of artificial coloring. So if you see like red dye this, blue dye number whatever, you're going to want to avoid those. Those synthetic dyes are very harmful for your health for a number of reasons. They are actually derived from petroleum, in case you didn't realize that. Linked to behavioral issues in children and allergic reaction. You want to watch out for any sort of hydrogenated oil. So this would be a highly processed seed oil, in other words. It is very common to see some type of seed oil in the description of a supplement. Sometimes it is thought that having some sort of fat will actually help to mobilize the nutrient better, but when they pick fats that are so toxic to the body, you actually can have a very much of the opposite effect. Propylene glycol, this is commonly used as a stabilizer and solvent. It is linked to allergic reactions, which basically just means people's bodies are rejecting it for some reason. And the cause of this is thought to be toxicity. Carrageenan is a really common one. This is found in natural supplements for whatever reason. It's basically a thickener and a stabilizer that causes extreme levels of inflammation in the body. It's actually known to be a carcinogen. Not sure why it's in our food and supplements, but it's super common ingredient that you'll find on supplement labels. It's been linked to gastrointestinal discomfort and a host of other gut health related symptoms. Sodium benzoate, it is a preservative and also a known carcinogen, particularly when it is combined with vitamin C, which you you aren't told that on the labels of these bottles, what not to combine things with. You'd want to make sure that for sure you're not taking it alongside vitamin C. Ascorbic acid, being vitamin C, is a very common supplement additive, so you're going to want to just kind of pay attention. Like, and honestly, anything that you can't pronounce should not be consumed unless it's a nutrient or a form of a nutrient. Aspartame and any type of other artificial sweeteners, you can see that a lot of the times they'll just add sugar into supplements for whatever reason. Even if you're swallowing it, I've seen just sugar in the supplement ingredient label, which, as we know, disrupts the balance of gut flora. It's going to feed those pathogenic overgrowth of yeast and bacteria, causing whatever symptoms are associated with yeast overgrowth for that particular individual, which could be a host of things. It could be behavioral, it could be mental, it could be gastrointestinal, but again, it all kind of stems from the thing that you're putting into your mouth, going into the gut microbiome, and is causing damage. Calcium propionate, this is another preservative that interferes with the beneficial gut bacteria, may cause migraines and GI discomfort. Okay, so I will have this all listed in a handout that you can grab in the description box below if you're interested. I think that the list is probably continuing to grow, so in a sense, this is helpful and not helpful because there's probably new chemicals that you may not even have recognized in this list that you potentially would get exposed to in your supplement labels. But I want to just mention one more because I think this one is really important, and it is alpha lipoic acid. And if you've been on my channel at all, then you know that I talk about heavy metal chelation and really resolving the root of your illness through the use of sometimes alpha lipoic acid. I just want to be clear here. If you see alpha lipoic acid in a supplement that, you know, in a dosing or an amount that you literally can't control, you don't know how much exactly is in there, it's just listed as other ingredients, you do not want to be taking that supplement. And in fact, it can be very dangerous to take this supplement. The reason being that alpha lipoic acid chelates heavy metals. However, the half-life of alpha lipoic acid is short, and that basically just means that it will pick up metals, but in order for them to essentially drop them off and get them out of your body, you have to continually be taking alpha lipoic acid every 3 hours. And you actually want to be doing this in very, very small amounts because it can be extremely potent and powerful. The Andy Cutler protocol is an example of how to take this really well, but it is so potent that it can actually pick up metals. And if you aren't being, cautious of taking this protocol seriously, it will drop them wherever they see fit, which might mean that it's being dropped in organs or tissues, causing really big problems. And honestly, you guys, I see a lot of athletes just taking alpha lipoic acid. I think it's really dangerous, but it's in supplements, you guys. So keep a lookout for that. Make sure that if you're taking alpha lipoic acid, again, that it's with a strict protocol, that you are microdosing yourself very carefully, and that you maybe are even working with a practitioner on how to do that properly. But don't let those into the supplement labels. Just make sure that those are out. It can be very dangerous, especially if you are healing from chronic illness and you have a very high heavy metal load. So I want to give you kind of a brief overview on how to tell if supplement is good, if it's good quality, and even if it's necessary. Because honestly, you guys, if I'm really being honest with you, I don't think most of the supplements out there are necessary, especially the ones that you will see in the grocery stores. Most of the kinds that are necessary aren't even available in grocery stores. So how do you tell if it's good? First, you want to make sure that you are primarily getting your nutrition from food. So I see people all the time with these cabinets full of supplements that are literally like vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, every single nutrient. And the irony of taking your vitamins becomes that like we are so depleted in our diet that we actually need to be taking like an extra multivitamin to actually make sure that we're covering our bases. But I truly believe that that shouldn't be necessary. You shouldn't have to do that. And if you're not familiar with my channel, you can go ahead and check out my beef liver videos, because I really believe that almost every single essential nutrient that you will need in a multivitamin can be gotten in food form in a beef liver capsule, or even just eating beef liver. I know that sounds kind of gross, but my point being here is that you actually want to make sure that the supplements you're taking primarily are coming from food. And if they are in capsule form, that they are a food-based form, because your body actually doesn't absorb synthetic vitamins in the same way that it would absorb something that is literally like a whole food that has been freeze-dried or desiccated and put into capsule form. So certain brands are touted for being more food-based than others, but you want to just pay attention to that, because honestly, I find that people could spend so much money on supplements, and honestly, like thousands of dollars on supplements, and the actual nutritional value in them is so small because they're synthetic. And as it is, the spinach at the store has about, some crazy like tenth of the amount of vitamin C that you actually could get if you grew it yourself at home and picked it fresh. But if you could just imagine something that's so highly processed and put in capsule form and left on a shelf for God knows how long, how much is actually really going to be in that at the end of the day. So I'm not against supplements. I'm not even against some forms of synthetic supplements, but I do think you really need to be particular. And I think you really want to pay attention to those ingredient labels, making sure as much as possible that you have isolated the nutrient that you're trying to get and that you're being extremely minimal with how much external like synthetic supplements you're taking in, and that a bulk of it is really coming from your food. That's the way your body is actually going to recognize and absorb those nutrients best. So making sure that if it comes from food, it's an organic supplement, it's not sprayed with pesticides, because a lot of the supplements out there are derived from foods, but they are sprayed with pesticides and chemicals. That's something that they literally won't put on an ingredient label. Making sure that if you are taking something like a beef liver capsules or an organ capsule, that they are from meat that is organic, grass-fed, that they were fed proper things so that the animal you're consuming wasn't toxic in and of themselves, because again, that just goes straight into their meat. You have to vet supplements in the same way that you would vet your foods. At least the way that I vet my foods is you're wanting to make sure that the animals are eating what they were supposed to originally be eating, and that everything is as much as possible in its raw organic form. So you tell me, are your supplements damaging your gut microbiome? Do this little audit for yourself. Get that checklist in the description box below, and let me know if you found anything that you didn't realize was toxic or bad for you in those ingredient labels, because they can be really sneaky. And if you got any value out of this video, like the video and subscribe to my channel. My goal is to take you from confusion and overwhelm to clarity and peace so that you can conquer your chronic symptoms naturally. Thanks for watching.